I 23M never found my 24F partner physically attractive. I'm scared of telling her because I love her very much. What should I do? I, 23M, have been dating my girlfriend, 24F, for the past 4 years. It started out as just a casual hookup one night when I was 19 and still using dating apps like Tinder religiously. When we first matched on Bumble, I didn't find her super attractive, but I did find her really cute. Not beautiful or hot by any means. She messaged me first and asked how I was doing. I responded that I was fine, just enjoying myself at home while watching Home Alone and smoking weed since I had the apartment to myself. She was very forward and asked if she could join me. I didn't see any issue with it and even thought it would be fun, so I agreed. An hour later, she was at my apartment, calling me to come down to the lobby to let her in. Once we got up to my apartment, things went smoothly. We talked for a while about different topics, like whether aliens are real or if there's any truth to myths and legends like vampires. We also talked a bit about ancient civilizations and shared our favorites. Everything seemed perfect, and I hadn't even thought about having sex or trying to turn this into a one-night stand. I was just enjoying my time with this woman I had just met. As the night went on, we both smoked, talked, and eventually watched a movie since I had already watched Home Alone earlier. After what felt like hours of scrolling through Netflix, we settled on 51st Dates. It was a movie I hadn't seen before, but it seemed fitting since this could be considered our first date. To make things easier to read, I'll call this woman Mona, so I don't expose this to people in our friend and family group. We were on the bed watching the movie, and I was really into it since I hadn't seen it before. That was probably a mistake, though, because halfway through the movie, Mona put her hand on my leg and slowly started rubbing higher and higher toward my area. When she got there, she looked at me and said, "You don't want to have sex with me? You haven't touched me this whole time during the movie." I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. It wasn't that I didn't want to have sex with her. She was cute, and it was clear she wanted this. Truth be told, I just didn't feel super attracted to her visually. Yes, she was cute, but she wasn't exactly my type either. After a while of silence, I looked at her and said, "I didn't plan on having sex with you tonight, but if you want to, I'd be okay with it." Mona smiled and said, "You must be a virgin," and then she pulled my pants down and jumped on me cowgirl style. We had a lot of sex that night and tried various positions. Before we knew it, it was 6 a.m., and my mother would be home soon. We both knew our time was up, so we got up, showered, got dressed, and smoked a few more bowls from my bong before she ordered an Uber and left. Ever since then, Mona has been texting and calling me, telling me how much she loves my company. We ended up meeting a few more times, but I made sure not to have sex with her because I didn't know if she was who I really wanted. About 2 weeks later, while we were hanging out, she asked me to be her boyfriend, which caught me off guard. I told her I needed time to think because I didn't think I was ready for a relationship. Mona said she understood and would wait for me. After that, things went back to normal. We hung out, had fun without having sex, but sometimes she made herself too hard to resist, and it would happen. Every time we talked, hung out, or had sex, it was good, and I felt like I connected with her in some weird way. After about 2 weeks of thinking, I agreed and told her, "I'm not sure if it will last, but I'm willing to give us a chance." Mona was so happy she cried, hugged me, and said we should go to my place to celebrate. By this time, I knew exactly what Mona meant. She wanted to smoke weed and have lots and lots of sex, which I wasn't upset about. But it made me question if she only wanted me because of the sex. Later down the road, about 1 to 2 years into the relationship, I got to learn a lot more about her. I learned about the sexual assault she'd experienced multiple times from different men and why she was hypersexual with me. I also learned about her home life, her relationship with her mom, dad, and siblings, as well as her long history of depression and suicidal thoughts. I love Mona as a person, and I wanted to help her through all of her issues, so I gave her my full support. She even moved in with me and my mom for about a year during our relationship. We didn't agree on everything. I loved anime and video games, but she hated anime and didn't understand video games. She loved true crime and TV shows like Bones and Law and Order, which I didn't care for. It was the same for her when I talked about League of Legends on Discord with friends or watched anime. She would look over and make jokes. I tried to get her into anime, but she was usually on her phone and clearly not into it. So eventually, I stopped trying and accepted that we are different people with different likes and dislikes. Fast forward to today. Mona and I are still dating, and we still have feelings for each other. We don't have everything in common, and we fight sometimes. But what couple doesn't? The real issue is that, after all these years, I've never been physically attracted to Mona's looks. I think she's cute but not hot, sexy, or beautiful. I love her mind and enjoy being around her and talking to her. I stayed in the relationship for this long because I wanted to see if I could find other things about her to love beyond her looks, which I did. I never have issues performing because of this. I can still get aroused, but I feel like I shouldn't be dating someone I'm not fully attracted to physically. I've talked to a few male friends and older men in my life, and they all say that most men end up dating or marrying women they aren't fully attracted to. They told me the most important thing is that I love her as a person and don't mistreat her because of my feelings. I feel like I've done a good job with that. I've always told Mona that she's an amazing lover in many ways. The only fights we've had were because she noticed I rarely call her beautiful, hot, or pretty. I told her I'm just not used to speaking like that, which is true because I've never been in a relationship before this. Plus, growing up, all the women I was attracted to called me gross, so I never complimented women on their looks after that. While that's true, it was also a cover for the fact that I don't find Mona physically attractive. What made me want to date her was her mind, her hobbies, her interests, her views on social dynamics, and her willingness to try new things. For example, after 4 years of dating, Mona came up to me and said she felt bad for teasing me about liking anime and being good at video games like League of Legends. She said she had looked at some anime to watch and picked one out, asking if I would watch it with her. She wanted to give anime an honest chance this time. For anyone wondering, the anime she picked was Your Lie in April. I'd already watched it, being the anime fan that I am, and I wanted to ask why she picked it, but before I could, Mona said, I picked this one because it's fully in English, and I won't have to read subtitles. Also, it seemed like a rom-com, and I love rom-coms. After all that, I took a deep breath and said, okay, we can start it tonight. We've been watching at least one episode every night. I truly have feelings for Mona, but when I think about our fights and what caused them, I feel like she'd be better off with someone who truly finds her hot, sexy, beautiful, and cute, not just cute like I do. I'm also scared that if I break up with her now, she'll think I've been using her all this time and never really loved her. The truth is, I love her very much, but I don't find her that attractive, and sometimes I think I could be happier if I found someone I was attracted to both in looks and personality. I also think that this would be better for Mona if she had a boyfriend who was attracted to both her looks and her personality. I don't know what to do.